Beloved community, as many of you know, I am David J. Johns, the CEO and Executive Director, really the head Rustanet of MBJC. And on behalf of the organization, I'm honored to welcome you to the 5th annual James Baldwin Legacy Awards. On this International Day of Older People and the first day of LGBTQ plus History Month, we are humbled to celebrate the contributions of Black queer, same-gender loving, gay, bisexual, and transgender, male and masculine elders. We are celebrating the contributions that they have and continue to make in the fight for complete and collective liberation, justice, and equity for all. As you may know, our awards program is named in honor of the iconic witness and prolific writer, James Baldwin. Uncle Jimmy told the truth about our uniquely diverse community experiences and ensured that we told the truths that people otherwise wanted to erase or ignore. He worked tirelessly as a civil rights advocate to move us all closer to equity and justice, offering examples of how we can live and work and love in public and strengthen relationships across differences in private. Programs like these are only made possible with the support of active accomplices working to ensure that we can all not just survive, but thrive. And we thank our partners at AARP for helping us to continue to honor and support these legendary and iconic community members while defending democracy and advancing equity. It is with this partnership in mind that I invite you to watch this video from John Paul Hayworth, the LGBTQ plus Audience Strategy Director at AARP. Take it away, John Paul.
I'm John Paul Hayworth, and I'm delighted to serve as the Audience Director for the LGBTQ plus community at AARP. This new role within AARP's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is only the most recent example of how AARP has committed to social justice, civil, and human rights issues. AARP is proud to be a sponsor of the National Black Justice Coalition and the James Baldwin Awards. It is our honor to be part of this celebration tonight of the awardees. And I want to extend my personal thanks to each of them. You are inspiring, and I'm thrilled that we have the opportunity to publicly recognize you and your accomplishments. AARP has earned a reputation as a wise friend and fierce defender through trusted information, tools, and advocacy designed to protect the health and financial security of all older Americans and empower them to choose how they live as they age. I want to share a short video with you that will help explain more about why AARP is here tonight.
Our story begins more than 60 years ago inside an abandoned chicken coop, where our founder discovered a retired teacher living, no home, no health care. So she said no to this injustice and yes to transforming lives. It's this drive, this compassion that inspired AARP. Today we empower people to choose how they live as they age. As a wise friend and fierce defender, we advocate for better health, financial security, and stronger communities. AARP, join us in making a difference.
Today's AARP fights for equality in issues like health, employment, affordable housing, and at its heart, the freedom to live our truth, without fear and with equality under the law. I invite all of those being honored and those in attendance at today's event to reach out to me and the other members of the ODEI team to learn more about AARP and our commitment to the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We celebrate your unwavering commitment to the Black community as you shine a light on the accomplishments, achievements, experiences, and wisdom of the LGBTQ SGL Black elders. Thank you for being a part of the work of the National Black Justice Coalition by being here tonight. AARP stands with NBJC in fighting for LGBTQ SGL equity for Black individuals, families, and communities. Working together, we will create a world where all can thrive. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, AARP and John Paul, for supporting this program and our organization's mission. I'm thrilled to welcome Maryland State Delegate Ashanti Martinez, this year's special guest co-host and a member of our Good Trouble network of Black LGBTQ plus and same-gender loving elected officials. Take it away, Brother Martinez.
Well, good afternoon, MBJC family and supporters. of this year's honorees. As a member of the Good Trouble Network and supporter of NBJC, I'm extremely excited to join in honoring our trailblazers and thrilled to introduce to you the surprise torchbearers you'll hear from today. These extraordinary leaders carry the torch held by this year's honorees, some of whom continue to carry it alongside their honoree. Our first torchbearer is Dewante Brown, the Vice President of Impulse Group DC.
Hey everyone, my name is Dante Brown and I'm the Vice President for Impulse Group DC. And friends, it is my profound honor to introduce someone whose life reads like a living chronicle of American progress. Someone who hasn't just witnessed history, but has actively shaped it with his own hands, his own voice, and his own indomitable spirit. For 5 decades, Donald Bell has stood on the front lines of every fight that matters. As a gay black man and proud third-generation Chicagoan, he has carried forward a legacy of resistance and resilience, walking in the footsteps of those who came before while blazing new trails for those who follow. From the civil rights movement to gay liberation, from labor halls to anti-war demonstrations, Donald has shown up, not occasionally, not when it was convenient, but consistently, courageously, and with complete commitment to justice. For 40 years nearly, he has served as an election judge, understanding that democracy isn't just a word, but a practice that demands our presence and protection. As a founding commissioner of the Illinois State Commission on LGBT Aging, Donald recognized the truth many overlooked, that our elders deserve dignity, recognition, and a place at the table they helped build. And through his instrumental work with One Roof Chicago's intergenerational LGBTQ+ housing development, he has helped ensure that our communities past, present, and future live together, literally under one roof, sharing stories, strength, and solidarity across generations. Donald Bell is proof that one person can make a difference, that showing up matters, and that the arc of justice bends only because people like him put their backs into the work of bending it. To a man who has never stopped fighting, never stopped caring, and never stopped believing in the possibility of a more just world. To someone who has spent 50 years proving that love is not just who you kiss, but what you fight for. To a Chicagoan, through and through, who has made his city and this world immeasurably better. To a bridge between generations, a keeper of history and a builder of futures. To Donald Bell, may your example continue to inspire us. May your legacy continue to grow, and may you know deeply and truly how many lives you have touched and changed. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you for the generosity of your introduction and for the great honor of inclusion in this group of people. This is more than a body can take in terms of honor, and I am so grateful for everyone who's here. Um, I will say, as an elder, and it's amazing how fast one gets to be an elder, that what you focus on at this point of life is your mortality, your history, and your civics. And I would like to invite those of us who are younger to de-silo their lives. Let's not think of each other as separate generations. Let's think of each other as on the same plane of life, going in the same direction, just at different points. Because everything that we as elders have done have been in the interest of those of you who will follow behind us, just as we have benefited from those who preceded us. James Baldwin, and for eons, every trans person, every sissy boy, every dykey girl who could not hide their identity, stepping forward in our cause. And so to continue that effort is an honor for me. And I hope that it will be an honor for you. Thank you all very much.
Well, thank you, Dante, for being that torchbearer. And thank you, Donald, for your inspiring words. Next, we'll have Sebastian Smith. certified health educator, and the national organizer of advocates for transgender equality.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sebastian Smith, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm the Director of Organizing and Advocates for Trans Equality. And this afternoon, I have the amazing honor and privilege to not only toast, but also congratulate one of this afternoon's awardees, Mr. Sean Ebony Coleman. Sean Ebony Coleman made history as the first Black transgender person to own and operate an LGBTQ center when he founded Destination Tomorrow in the Bronx back in 2009. He has since expanded his services and expanded his locations, and Destination Tomorrow exists in both Atlanta and DC, as well as the Bronx. Through his consulting work with major corporations all across the nation, combined with his deep roots in ballroom culture and expertise in nonprofit leadership, this 55-year-young Brooklyn native bridges grassroots advocacy with corporate responsibility. Now, that's what his mini bio says, but I want to take a brief second to talk about the man, the legend that is Sean Coleman. Sean Coleman is a force to be reckoned with. This award, the James Baldwin Legacy Award, is made to honor those that exemplify being trailblazers in the community. Sean has done just that. Sean is a staunch advocate for not just Black trans folks, not just the trans and non-binary community, but for the broad LGBTQ plus community. He is a change maker, and he is also a mentor for so many of us other Black trans men who are also in this fight right alongside of him and doing advocacy work as well. So I can think of no one else more deserving than this honor today. Toast to you, Sean, and congratulations on your award, or you're receiving the James Baldwin Legacy Award. Thank you.
Wow. I didn't think that I would be overwhelmed by this acknowledgement, right? Sebastian, thank you. NBJC, thank you so much for the inclusion. It's not often that Black trans masculine folks get an opportunity to sit at the table. And I've been blessed to sit at many tables. So I just want to say to the larger Black trans community, they see our worth. They recognize what we bring to the table. So I'm going to beg you to keep showing up. Even in this moment, when they're telling us that there's no value to our lives, I'm going to tell you to keep showing up. I'm going to tell you to disconnect when you need to, but to show up as your full self. Don't allow them to scare you into silence or back into a closet. We have a saying at Destination Tomorrow. It's pivot, don't panic. And I want everybody here to incorporate that into their lives. I want you to figure out what your pivot is, right? There's no need to panic. As Black folks, we've been here before. We understand what they're doing to us. We just have to understand our assignment. We need to work together. For too long, there have been these silos, this distraction, they keep us divided. And I'm begging us in this moment to recognize how much we have in common and to begin to work together. I want to thank my chosen family, my ballroom family, and my family, at the top of which is my beautiful, beautiful wife. Thank you, Janae, for all that you do. Thank you for the sacrifices that you make so that I can come into these rooms and be my full self. And thank you for the blessing that is Ace, my 7-week-old son, and my daughter, Shawanda. I love y'all all so much, and I appreciate this honor. And, you know, I may be 57. Thank you for taking 2 years off, Sebastian. I appreciate that. I'm 57 now, and I may be 57, but I still got a lot of things that I want to accomplish, and I'm hopeful that we can work together. Blessings to all of you.
Well, thank you so much, Sean. And I don't know about you all, but there's so many gems being dropped. I had to write down the pivot, don't panic to remind myself in the future. Our next torchbearer is going to be Reverend Rodney McKenzie, the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships at the Freedom Together Foundation.
My name is Rodney McKenzie Jr. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships for the Freedom Together Foundation, and it is my honor to celebrate Dr. Randall Miller with the James Baldwin Legacy Award. I really can't think of anyone more deserving. You know, James Baldwin said it this way, that love takes off the mask that we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within. Randall, you have loved us. You have loved us so hard and so fiercely that we have realized that whatever space we're in, that we can take off the mask and be fully who and what we are. From your early work in the 90s with the Black Coalition on AIDS to your work at the Haas Junior Fund, your work at Pacific School of Religion, and your work as a leader at the Arcus Fund, you have showed us over and over and over again in every room that I have experienced you in that we must and that we can take off our mask and be beautiful and be Black and be LGBTQ, that all that was ever required of us is to be who we are and to take off our mask. You know, I remember when I first got to meet you as a grantee, as someone who wanted to do really good work, your love, your presence, your bigness made me believe that I could be loving and beautiful and big and powerful and bold in all ways. On behalf of all of us, I know that you have taught us to be free and to be loved and to be joy and to live a powerful and beautiful life. Thank you for all of your work. Thank you for how you have allowed the work to be who you are. And thank you for liberating us, for showing us the way that we can take off the mask that we fear we cannot live without and know that we cannot live within, and that underneath all of that is a beauty that the world may not be able to understand, but that the world has been waiting to experience as us, through us, and in us. It is an honor, friend, to present you with this James Baldwin Legacy Award. May you continue to be the change that so many of us have been awaiting to experience as you. Ashe. I love you, friend.
Rodney, thank you for that beautiful, beautiful introduction. Thank you. As a mentor of mine once said, we mentor each other, and I am grateful that I've been able to bring something to the partnerships and friendships over the years, but I have picked up so much more from this lovely, wonderful, colorful cast that I've been a part of. And I'm just really, really moved by that beautiful, beautiful introduction. Thank you. And it's a genuine honor to be included in this class of Black queer men. I'm realizing that I've known all of you for some part over the last 40 years or so, or had a chance to follow your work, particularly from the balcony of working in philanthropy. Philanthropy is not always glamorous, but what has kept me in it is the ability to watch so many Black men, women, siblings grow into who they were always meant to be, and to have the privilege of partnering with you through your highs, through your lows, through your transcendent times and times when you have held people as they have suffered. As the old song goes, my soul looks back and wonders how we got over. And for me, a significant part of that answer, the answer to that question, is that For the last 40 years, I've been surrounded by so many of you, friends and allies, who have supported me, seen my work, and loved me through it all. I was brought into the movement for liberation, justice, and equality by Black siblings who believed to their core that Black queer people were worth saving, and more than that, worth celebrating. Now, we've come through some challenging times, and now terrible times have come upon us again. One of the most important things that I learned from reading James Baldwin was that we have to connect the inner to the outer struggle to become the beautiful selves that the Spirit means us to be. Baldwin put it this way: this fight begins, however, in the heart, and now it was laid to my charge to keep my heart free from hatred and despair. Thank you again for this beautiful award. Thank you for the gift of partnering and watching and celebrating over the years as so many friends and colleagues and allies and co-conspirators have flowered into who they were meant to be. And I look forward to working with you over the years ahead. Thank you so much.
Now we'll have Matthew Rose, the Health Policy Director at the Human Rights Campaign.
Hey y'all, it's your favorite troublemaker, Matthew Rose, but I'm here to celebrate the OG troublemaker, one Harold Phillips. Harold preceded me in my days at NMAC when he was running capacity building, and then he went over to HRSA to teach me what on earth Ryan White is and why it has a global presence. Watching Harold move from there to work for the administration at the Office of Infectious Disease Policy, heading up the EHE initiative, and then hitting probably the pinnacle of the policy, the HID policy expert life, running the White House Office of National AIDS Policy, and saying to people that the truths we had are important and the lives of people are important, and that the quality of life that people live has to be in our national strategy. Harold has done things that many of you will never know about, but will celebrate for the rest of your lives. And that is why I am so proud to be here and giving him an award after one of my other heroes, one James Baldwin. Congrats, Harold. Well deserved. Take the torch, take the work, and continue to run.
Wow. Thank you, Matthew. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm deeply honored and humbled to accept the James Baldwin Legacy Award from the National Black Justice Collective, and to be recognized in the name of James Baldwin, a visionary who wielded truth like a sword and love like a shield, is not only a personal milestone, but a profound reminder of the responsibility that we carry as storytellers, advocates, and architects of justice. This award is not mine alone, and it belongs to every Black, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or same gender-loving man who went before me and who dared to live out loud, who refused to shrink, and who chose authenticity over safety, and who made space where there was none. And this signature event is a testament to their brilliance, their resilience, and their radical imagination. I want to take a moment to acknowledge my fellow honorees. Each of you is a force, and your work, your courage, and your presence in this world inspires me and so many others. You're the living proof that legacy is not just what we leave behind, but what we build together. And to the National Black Justice Collective, thank you for creating this sacred space. You remind us that our stories matter, our lives matter, and our futures are worth fighting for. And as Baldwin once said, the place in which I'll fit will not exist until I make it. This afternoon, we celebrate those who made that place and those who continue to expand it. Thank you, and let's continue and keep building.
Now, we'll have Justin L. Hill, the Research and Policy Analyst at the Westside Health Authority.
Hi, my name is Justin Hill. I'm here to present the James Baldwin Legacy Award to Malcolm Reed. I am a huge fan of his work. It is because of Malcolm that people like me are able to walk into rooms and do the work that we do at the intersection of health, economic development, intersection of health and arts. And so one of the things that I am really pleased about is that Malcolm's work, he was doing the work when it was no fanfare, when he had to deal with the fact that people were too ready to say that this group of people deserve the death sentence that was Grizz, that later became known as HIV and AIDS. And he suffered through that, but he was a proud man who helped save lives and give grace and give humanity back to people, a human dignity that we all deserve when we're suffering. And so one of the things that I'm honored to present this award to him about is that he was doing the work in the 80s. And I remember my mentors, Bill Wilson, has always talked about how he lost hundreds and hundreds of people during the 80s and 90s, and he watched hundreds of his friends pass away. The late Cornelius Baker would talk to me oftentimes of different projects we worked on, where he would talk about the loss of his friends in the creative space and how he would go through his phone book and just have to cross out hundreds and hundreds of names. And so I think that in this period of time, to have a person who has marshaled resources, marshaled leaders, and held people accountable in the 80s in the midst of a health crisis, a public health crisis, gives me strength and ideas for what I'm doing now, because we are facing a all too familiar, not friendly situation politically, but we still have to move forward with making the case for communities that are overburdened and impacted both by health issues, economic disinvestment, and all the things. And so I am so honored to present Malcolm Reed with the James Baldwin Legacy Award. Thank you, brother, for all your work. You continue to pave the way for people like me, and I hope you're having a great time being celebrated.
Wow, Justin, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. You know, my mom used to tell me that if you walk into a space that you've never been, act like you've been there. But this is amazing. And so it's going to be hard for me to do that, but I'm going to try. So good afternoon, my family that's online, and comrades and loved ones that are watching across the country. And thank you to the National Black Justice Collective and AARP for this honor. You know, James Baldwin, he said that not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And so today I receive this award with gratitude, humility, and resolve. And I accept on behalf of the communities that raised me and the communities that I try to raise up. Black, queer, same gender loving folks, people living and aging with HIV as I am, our caregivers, our trans and non-binary kin, and the advocates and activists working every day to save our lives, especially now. I thank my husband, Stuart, and my family of origin and my families of choice and all the people who work to continue to mentor me and hold me accountable. People sometimes call me Atlanta's Black gay uncle. I wear that with pride because uncles are there when parents can't or won't be. In our community, Unc and OG are sometimes dismissed as stereotypes of the street. But you know, the street, that's where we live. That's where we do our work. That's where we listen, we support, and we provide love and guidance. You know, back in 2016, I wanted to build something for mature Black gay men living with HIV to gather, to heal, and to lead. And with the belief and the support of Thrive SS founders Larry Scott Walker, Dwayne Bridges, and Daniel Griffin, Claude Bowen, Nathan Townsend, and I brought the Silver Lining Project to life. Because we understood, as Baldwin did, and I'm paraphrasing, you don't have to accept this world the way it was when you came in. And so for years, the Silver Lining Project was the gold standard for supporting Black gay men over the age of 50 living with HIV. More recently, I launched the Unity Arc Advocacy Group, whose mission is to build a network of health equity champions who honor ancestral wisdom, empower communities, train new advocates, and collaborate with policymakers to eliminate disparities. Because health equity is not a slogan, it's infrastructure. It looks like elders aging with dignity, medication and meals without shame, and clinics that treat your story with the reverence that they treat your lab results. As the chair of the Policy Action Committee of the USPL HIV Caucus and the co-chair of the Georgia HIV Justice Coalition, I've worked with courageous advocates to modernize HIV laws, fight stigma, and turn pain and criminalization into policy. When we win, it's never just about a bill number. It's about neighbors walking freely, elders aging with respect, and young people knowing their truth is not a crime. I accept this award not as a finish line, but as a mile marker. From here, we have to love harder, organize smarter, and we have to keep telling the truth. With the shutdown today, we know that the people are scheming to deny us basic health care, life-saving services, but we must stay together and keep our people safe and keep our people informed. So thank you, NBJC, and thank you, AARP. I really appreciate this award. Thank you.
Let's give it up for our honorees. You know, one of the things that I often take for granted is that I'm in spaces that oftentimes I'm the first. So it's so nice to be able to see other folks who are trailblazers in their respective fields, but ultimately that share my background and my lineage as well in this space, and to be in community with everyone is such a privilege. And so before I get to our next torchbearer, who is Pastor Kalisa Jeffrey of the Fellowship Affirming Ministries of Rwanda, he also serves as the Amahora, Human Respect Organization's Executive Director and the TFAM Global Program Director.
I am the Reverend Kalisa Musdi Geoffrey. I'm a pastor in TFAM Rwanda Church and a member of TFAM Global Board of Presbyter in charge of East Africa. I have a great privilege to speak to you about a friend, a brother who has the foresight, the passion, and the courage in being a great leader in the spirit of James Baldwin. To me, I call him Papa. Bishop Joseph Williams Dalton is a senior bishop in the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries. He is also the founder and the president of Interconnected Justice, a global collective connecting people of African descent in Africa and those in the diaspora. Bishop Joseph has empowered countless queer activists to organize, advocate, and lead with love and courage. He has helped establish inclusive, openly queer welcoming churches in Africa, challenging the entrenched norms and creating spaces where people can worship with authenticity, love, and safety. Through his work, communities, especially queer communities, have found a momentum for justice, love, healing, and hope. I am absolutely proud of Bishop Joseph. And today, we celebrate your achievements. I am honored to present the James Baldwin Legacy to Bishop Joseph Dalton. And to Bishop Joseph, congratulations.
Wow, you guys got me and got me good, and I'm a hard one to get. Thank you so much, Pastor Jeffrey Kalisa, for that award. You know how very much you mean to me. You are a dear son. I want to thank the National Black Justice Coalition, and in particular, of course, Dr. David Johns, Victoria Kirby York, and to your board chair, Darrell Moore. To the other awardees, I am just so delighted and humbled to be mentioned alongside of you for the incredible work that each one of you has done. Several of you I know and have had the chance to work with, but all of you, I certainly know of your work. Wow, I'm pretty weepy and really taken by surprise there. Let me just say very briefly that I've been thinking a lot about the fact that I was born at the very end of 1967, just about 4 months before Dr. King was killed. And I have lived my entire life under the arc of the banner of the civil rights movement, in which we believed that America had made a covenant with Black Americans to pursue with us the full promise of America for its dark citizens. Now that we are living in this current era, we realize that to some degree, that was not exactly a genuine covenant or commitment that America made with us. And we see the ways in which the elite are running away from their commitment to see the civil rights movement and its impact fully recognized and documented. We see that with the destruction of affirmative action and diversity, equity, and inclusion. That said, I deeply believe that this moment of destruction and chaos creates an opportunity for us to create something new. For the Bible says that God actually spoke to chaos and used language to form and create the heavens and the earth, but it was done out of chaos. Something beautiful was created. And out of this chaos, I believe that we as people of African descent, we as queer people are called in this hour to take the wheel. There must be a third civil rights movement. And I believe that we have the courage, we have the juice, we have the intellect and the passion and the foresight and the vision to be able to be the architects of a third civil rights movement that is global in its reach and that works at the intersection of racial justice, LGBTQ dignity, and womanist empowerment. And so as I receive this award, I do so congratulating all of those that are also recipients, congratulating the National Black Justice Coalition for your incredible work. But I also lift up a charge to all of us that there is work ahead of us. The world needs queer people. The world needs Black queer people, for we are called to take up the dream of Marcus Garvey, to reunite people of African descent globally, and to bring us into a place where we break the back of anti-Blackness, which has been alive since the transatlantic slave trade. I deeply believe that is the work before us, and I look forward to partnering with each one of you as we advance that cause. Thank you so very much for this wonderful, wonderful recognition. The peace of God be with you.
Last, but certainly not least, we have torchbearer Reverend Dr. Aaron Wade, a co-founder of the Community Church of Washington, D.C., United Church of Christ.
Good day, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Aaron Wade, founder and CEO of Empowerment Enterprise 2, a nonprofit in the District of Columbia that's dedicated to empowering people and changing communities. I'm also the founder and pastor emeritus of the Community Church of Washington, D.C., United Church of Christ. It is from this place of service and community leadership that I am humbled to offer this toast today to Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington. Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington's reputation precedes him. While I have not had the privilege of meeting him personally, I have read his work, heard his witness, and seen the reach of his impact. And what I know is that we gather today to honor a person whose life and ministry embodies transformation, courage, and vision. We're living in a time, y'all. We're living in a time when so many marginalized communities, Black, Brown, LGBTQI+, immigrants, poor, differently abled, are all under assault. Rights are being stripped, access is being blocked, and voices are being silenced in ways that threaten the very soul of our country. In such a climate, the work of leaders like Dr. Washington is not just important, it's essential. Dr. Washington is a leader in higher education, a trusted consultant to institutions across the country, a pastor and a founder. Through the Washington Consulting Group and the Social Justice Training Institute, he's challenged organizations not simply to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but to live it. And as a pastor of Unity Fellowship Church of Baltimore, he continues to show what it means to shepherd with authenticity, compassion, and boldness. We also share, he and I, a proud lineage. Both of us are brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and both graduates of Howard University School of Divinity. Those two affiliations, what I know, are heritage builders. It shapes a person deeply. And I would dare to believe they played a part in shaping Dr. Washington, not just to achieve, but to serve, and to serve with excellence. What I find most inspiring about Dr. Washington is how his life reflects the charge of Mahalia Jackson's soul. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Guess what? Dr. Washington living is not in vain. His work has been a blessing to countless students, congregants, colleagues, and communities. And in these turbulent times, his work sets an example that reminds us that justice, faith, and action must walk hand in hand, that we can't just talk about it, but we gotta be about it. So tonight, let us raise our glasses to a leader, a brother, and a servant of God, Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington. May your light continue to shine, and may your work continue to call us all towards justice, transformation, and hope for a better world. Cheers, and be blessed.
So that was not fair. And just like my other brothers who have gone before me, the honor in this moment is a touch overwhelming. I am deeply humbled today and grateful to receive this amazing honor, the James Baldwin Legacy Award. I first want to thank NBJC and its leadership who I've known and worked with down through the years, to my champion who did such a wonderful job of making me weepy. I want to thank you for being my brother and knowing the journey. To all of those who are on here now celebrating me, I want to say thank you. I want to just pause for a moment and honor the foundation that was laid for me long before I could stand in a space like this. I am the child of Annette and James Washington, the grandson of Elizabeth and Thurman Williams. Their sacrifices, their wisdom, their faith, their insistence on dignity made my journey possible. Whatever I have accomplished in this life, it is because of their legacy. Today, I also recognize that I stand on the shoulders of giants who went before me. The award carries the name of James Baldwin, who gave us not only brilliant words, but fierce witness and the realities that race, sexuality, and justice in America. And I stand on the shoulders of so many in this movement, known and unknown, who paved the way for us to be unapologetically Black, unapologetically queer, unapologetically Christian, and unapologetically free. I name and I lift up at this time Archbishop Carl Bean. I want to acknowledge the other honorees tonight. As I sat here and as we waited before we came onto the screen, I looked at brothers that I just wanted to be in community with, hanging out. We have been in this work together for many years. We have been in each other's space and community, in other rooms, but I am so grateful to be named alongside these brilliant, Black, beautiful, badass men. It gives me so much joy to be in this space, in this time. We want to acknowledge as we come together in this moment, I cannot do this without remembering all of those that we've lost to AIDS, to violence, to rejection, to neglect. We carry their names in our hearts and honor them for living their best lives and for setting for us an example of joyful and courageous living for the present. Our joy is our resistance, our laughter is our healing, and our energy is necessary for this current moment. As I begin to wrap up my comments, I want to celebrate those who are coming behind me, those who are rising and carrying the work, those anti-racist, LGBTQAI plus same gender living, social justice activists, thinkers, artists, and healers for the next generation. You are our living hope. You are the reminder to us that the movement is not just about survival, it is about us thriving. I must shout out today my husband, my partner of nearly 20 years, the Reverend Sam Offer, my amazing sisters, Cheryl and Gail Washington, and the entire Washington and Offer family. I am here today because of you. And so I accept this award, and I do so not for myself alone, but to honor my ancestors, to honor my family, to honor my colleagues, to honor my community. My Unity Fellowship Church movement, my Unity Fellowship Church of Baltimore, my TFAM, the AME Church, Social Justice Training Institute, American College Personnel Association, NASPA Leadership, the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha, all of those places I went to school, Slippery Rock, Indiana, University of Maryland, and yes, my beloved Howard University School of Divinity. And those communities that are yet to come, because as we receive these awards today, we are reminded we are not finished. Thank you for naming the words that I live by. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody that he, she, ze, or they are traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. Peace, blessings, love, and light to each of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Washington, for those beautiful words. For those of you that have watched MBJC's James Baldwin Legacy or Audre Lorde Wisdom Awards, you know what time it is. It's time to reveal the commissioned award and artwork commemorating this year's phenomenal James Baldwin Legacy Award cohort. Thank you to Rebecca Crouch, an award-winning Black queer artist, for creating this beautiful image to capture this year's cohort. Each of you will receive. And one more thank you to all of this year's honorees for all of the work and the legacy that you have built. I now will turn it over to my brother, Virginia State Delegate Roja Henson, to provide this year's call to action.
Hi, I'm Delegate Roja A. Henson Jr. And while we're fast approaching the midterm elections and news pundits are already arguing about the 2026 governor's races, this year alone, we have at least 45 states that are having elections, including my very own, where I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Nationwide, there are more than 100,000 seats open on the ballot. Every election is important, and this year's elections are no exception. Who holds state and local power matters deeply to what is permitted to happen in the communities that we know and love across the United States. Before this year's elections, ensure you are registered to vote and verify your registration with your local elections office to avoid discovering you've been purged from the voting rolls and it's too late to fix it. Additionally, research the candidates and issues on the ballot. Research these candidates and issues on the ballot, and also make a plan to encourage other people to vote. Voting alone won't transform our democracy, but without it, we have no democracy. Access NBJC's hashtag Vote Ready Toolkit at www.mbjc.org. In addition, while you're verifying your voter status, verify your HIV status too. NBJC is proud to be a part of the hashtag Stop HIV Together initiative. We encourage you to sign up for the free HIV at-home testing kits through the Take Me Home program. Viewers can request 2 kits every 6 months at www.tinyurl.com/NBJC self-test. Request them before the program ends. Now, I am honored to return the program to my friend, Dr. David J. Johns, the quarterback of the Team MBJC. Take us home, brother.
Come on, y'all. Please join me in giving our capable hosts, honorees, and torchbearers, and the production team behind the scenes a virtual round of applause. We want to thank the members of this year's selection committee and send a special shout out to the event producer, Tom Cunningham, as well as Emily, Victoria, Cheyenne, Ebony, Jaleisha, Britt, Jordan, and our interns, everyone who makes all the magic happen behind the scenes. I am thankful for each of you. Thanks again to John Paul and Cassandra, our partners at AARP, and Rebecca Crouch, our brilliant artist who shows up and shows out through her creative vision each and every year. Thank you for the support that you have offered us over the years. Please also, before you go, save the date. The Audre Lorde Wisdom Awards will be presented on May 15th, 2026. Yes, we are planning for next year because we're going to be thriving there. Black Futures there. Meet us there. Stay locked in with all of MBJC's happenings at our website, mbjc.org. And you can find us at MBJC on the move across digital platforms, all of them except the one that we just don't use anymore. I'll see you next year. Guard